Before you take a look at our punch defense videos, I want to tell you a little bit about the way we do our punch defense and what you see and why you see it the way you do. Our punch defenses are done in a traditional way against a very simple extended punch. Now, what we're training here is not necessarily the most realistic thing. Most people, nobody is going to step in, punch, and hold it there. But what we're using that for is a simple mark to learn basic principles and concepts. For example, stepping inside the punch and stepping offline, step outside the punch, offline, or step forward and what you need to do to get that punch taken care of before you can defend yourself. And then there's some basic concepts of countering that you're going to engage. For example, just a very simple block and counter strike to block and kick. Bouncing off, block, and elbow. And you're going to use different tools and different striking targets just to get a little bit of an understanding of where you can hit, why you hit there, and using weapons and targets you may not use in free sparring. For example, free sparring, we don't kick to the groin. Well, in punch defense, these techniques go below the belt, to the knee, to the groin. In free sparring, we don't typically use elbows and knees. You're going to be using elbows and knees in your punch defenses. So again, this is a training technique to give you an understanding of basic motion, basic concepts and principles. The reality is that what you're going to see in a more practical altercation is you're not going to step in and have a hard and strong inside block. However, you may have your hand and just do a simple right there. Well, that's the same thing. This, it's the same motion, it's just shortened and made tighter. And so the principle of block and back fist, it's the same thing, except instead of here, it may look there, quick, boom. So the movements can be tightened and modified to act a little bit more reflexively and in real time in a live situation. So again, just want to try to give you a little bit of an idea of what we're doing, why we're doing that, and some acknowledgement that when you use this kind of stuff, if it ever, God forbid, happens in a street situation, it is going to change. It is going to be different. And that's why you want to have this understanding, train both ways. And it's also why I think sparring, and when we do it in class, is important. Not necessarily because you're going to spar somebody on the street, but it does start to bring these techniques into more real-time kind of perspective. Because when you're blocking, in sparring, you're not doing these long and extended movements. It's much shorter, it's much quicker, your reflex time gets better, you're reading somebody else's body, and you're starting to understand a little bit about what it means to distance, to time, and how to go off of their attack to counter with your own, or how to start to open things up offensively. And so, for me, that sparring and our punch defense goes hand in hand. So, take a look at them, use them, practice them, and we'll see you in class.